Forms.
Awesome.
Okay. Yay. So we're on live. Just waiting for people to come on. If you do come on, then state your name and ask your question or say hello, because when you're doing StreamYard, we cannot see who it is. It just says person's watching. So that's what I want everybody to do. We have a couple more minutes. Very excited about today's talk. Okay, so I was saying that today we are having a discussion on vision boards, and if you want to say hello or ask a question, state your name and then write down your question so we know who you are. So we have about a minute left for everybody to join. So I see one person is on. You can say hello. We'd love to say hello if you feel like it. It's always up to everybody. I always say that, Some people love to come on and some people just like to watch. I used to be a watcher, but now I'm like a talker. I always want to
I have to put my
answer questions. Yeah.
Put 2 cents into everything.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to start. So we are on time with everything. My friend Spramani Alan is on. Is that how I say it properly? Alan. Okay, she's an art teacher, she's a business coach, a creative coach, she's an artist, an author, a friend, a mother, an extraordinary person she is. That is her introduction. I brought her on because I have a lot of moms who are struggling with not focusing. They can't find their purpose. They're not really sure what their intentions are. And I wanted to bring her on because she is a creative coach also. And she plans vision boards, which are amazing. And it's a really great way to help move forward and really find your focus in life, because in our midlife and even when we're starting our journey with families and with friends and everybody else, we always want to know, what is our intention? What is our purpose? And when we don't have that, sometimes we struggle with that. So vision boards are a really great way to help you find your focus and move forward, so you know what you want to do, because you don't want to live in a life of chaos and wonder what to do in an unorganized way. So I'm going to give the platform to you. And hello from Michigan. I think that's Jasmine.
Hi. All right. Hi, everyone. As Uzma said, I'm Spramani. I'm actually here in San Diego, and I really wish this was a pajama party because I would have came in my pajamas. You're going to have to do that on Sundays. Bring your coffee and your pajamas, and let's just have some light pajama talk. But I got dressed. Anyhow, yes. So one of the things that I love doing every year is a vision board, and that's why you brought me on, because I want to tell your audience a little bit about them and how I use them. If you've never heard of a vision board is almost like a poster board with a bunch of magazine cutouts, and it's kind of like it's like a dream board where you cut out all the things you wish for, and you glue it down, and then you put it up, and hopefully they come to life, and those things happen. And so that's kind of what the general description is for vision board, but it's so much more than that. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. So if you've ever done a vision board and you're joining us, I'd love for you to pop in and tell me I've done one or I haven't done one. I'd like to know who in the room, knows what a vision board is or has actually done one. I've been doing vision boards for about 5 years now, and I now host. I was doing them live in my house, and now we're doing them virtually. And Uzma and I are going to tell you later about how we can do the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm now doing it online. You can actually do vision boards online, where you're actually in front of your camera like this with your scissors and glue and your magazine, cutting them out and pasting them down.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And I was saying earlier, for those of you who came on, that there's so many women who are trying to look for their purpose, and they're trying to also look for their intentions and how to create things. So how can women find their purpose or move forward with vision boards?
One of the things I talk about in my workshops is that we actually don't know what we want until we actually get it out of our head. And one of the big things that I talk about in the vision boards is, if you have things up here, if you keep them there, they're going to stay there. And if you actually get them out by either putting it on a list or cutting out these images, you actually bring that idea to fruition by putting it down on a board and pasting it down. They say that in science that if you actually write something out, it's more likely to imprint on your brain, and you're more likely to remember to do it or cognitively, strategic your life around it. And that's kind of what the basis of the vision board is all about. In my workshops, I talk all about that. I show you. But to answer the specific question, how does that give you intention? It's almost like a roadmap to your year, or however some people do them every 12 months, or some people do them just once, and they, it's just a vision for 5 years or 10 years. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. But the idea is once you get it on a board, you make it like a conscious thought, and you drive your dreams by, doing the things you do on a day-to-day to go in that direction of what's on the board.
Okay, so let's go backwards and talk about what is an intention, because a lot of people might be like, what is an intention? Is it a wish? Is it a hope? Is it a manifestation? What is an intention actually? And why do you need them?
Yeah. So if you think about a wish is something we totally wish it will happen. Okay. It's like something like, I wish that, I wish I could get a brand new house. That's a wish. But an intention is you set the boundary and the goals around it, and have an intention means you have a direction. It's almost like I almost want to say the metaphor for intention is direction. Like why you want to do it. An intention also is like, I know why I'm doing it. I know the driving force behind it. I know what I need to do it, and I now know I need a plan for it. It's an intention. Another thing I talk about in the vision board thing is I talk about how intentions unfold because you make your intention. I also talk about how intentions, if you don't have an intention, you could mindlessly have no direction. And we've all done it where we sit down and we go, what happened the last 3 years? Like, what was my focus? There was no focus. There was no intention. Like if you ask them, what did you do 5 years ago? Some people can remember, and some, like if you're in college, you have an intention. You get up every day, go to college and go to school, and you're going to get a degree. That's an intention. You get, you have a goal. The goal is in 2 to 3 years or 5 years, you get a certificate, and every day you get up to go to school to study, and your whole life is revolved around that. So that's what I meant by intention set in a vision board.
I also think that as kids get older and then we're less responsible for them also, we also lose that goal and that intention also, because you don't have those set timings. You don't have to get up at 7, you don't have to pick them up at 3, you don't have soccer at 5. So as we get older also, our life is kind of chaotic and we just go by winging it. So every year the goals are the same. Also, if you think about your New Year's goals, let's lose weight. That's what we wish every year. And we never, accomplish it because we're always in that winging it mode, right? And an intention, you finish a goal, then you can start something else and you feel accomplished, you have a purpose. Otherwise, life is just so like mundane and we're just always looking for something. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, I can totally attest to that. It's interesting because I am 52. I'm over 50, and you would think that I wouldn't have goals. Like I'm done. I raised my kids. It's retirement time, but we do get lost and we do forget that we can set goals at this age and for the next, next 20 years. And I remember doing that too. I remember waking up and just getting up, getting the kids fed, getting my husband out the door, planning our week. Where was I going to take my daughter to dance? Where we're going to go to the library? Just mindlessly going day to day and not even thinking like, are you meeting your goal? Are you meeting your intentions? Do you have passions that you want to do? I remember that totally.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very like you don't feel happy. You don't have that joy inside of you because there's nothing to look forward to. You feel like everybody's moving on. The kids are getting older, moving on. Your partner's getting older, moving on, and you're still in the same place. And that's
you're on automation.
Exactly. Yes, that's what it is. So one of our Facebook users is saying that they have a vision boards, but they need more ideas on where to get pictures.
Oh, magazines. I'll give you a big tip right now. So I have a client. I just did a vision board workshop yesterday morning with my clients on Zoom, and she just moved to Hawaii, And because of the shutdown, she hasn't been going anywhere, and she doesn't have magazines and things. And I told her, you need magazines. She goes, well, where do I get magazines? I go to your favorite market, go to Barnes and Nobles, and look at the things you're attracted to, and buy 3 to 4 magazines. Invest in the magazine, because magazines are not cheap anymore. They used to be $2; they're now $10. It's crazy. In the last few years, I've been noticing the prices have been going up. But what will happen is you buy magazines that you're attracted to. Most likely, those are your visions, and your passions, and your goals, and your dreams, and things you want. Like, beautiful cookbooks, decorating magazines, and vacation magazines. I get magazines like from when I go out of town. If I go to Portland, I grab Portland magazines. They always have beautiful scenery ones. If I go to Utah, I grab some. If I go to, I move around a lot. So I'm always picking up pamphlets, because I'm not only just getting the pictures, you can actually use words. And we just did that yesterday. So anyhow, my client went out, and she went into the store. She goes, oh my gosh, I didn't even think, because I was drawn to so many magazines, but I had, a budget. So she bought 3 of her favorite magazines. She opened up the magazine. She goes, all the words that I'm thinking are right there. I go, yeah, because you went for the attraction of what you were interested in. She bought like a design magazine, a food magazine, and like a mind meditation yoga magazine. And of course, those are all her attractions. All the words and the things are there. But I want you to know that vision boards can be done with magazines, scrapbook paper. If you go to a craft store, some of the scrapbook papers, and I'll grab a sample right now and show it to you. Some of the scrapbook papers come with beautiful sayings and motivational sayings. You can even use that. We do a lot of cutting words. If we can't find a word, we'll cut it or draw it, things like that. But let me grab.
I also think, you can grab your thing. I also think that with online also, if you like something, you can go on your computer and print it out.
That's right. Pinterest. If you have a Pinterest board, most likely you've been collecting all your fantasy, like, your wish list, almost like, right? Let me grab my.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I have a lot on my phone also. Like, I save everything and copy and paste it, so I put it on my phone as well. And then I print it out, or I go back if I want ideas to refresh, because I've also been doing vision boards for the last couple of years, and just making them and having the intentions and having things come true it just is so amazing. It just makes you feel so empowered as a woman as well, that I can do this can happen, because whether you work or you're home or whatever, when you see your visions coming true, it's a really boost in self-confidence as well.
Yeah, having those boards up for you to see time to time, kind of, it almost corrects your path, your direction. Sometimes we get all kind of fuzzy. We don't know where we're going. And then we see the sign. Oh, go left. Oh, I need to go left. That's what a vision board does. You're like, wait, I remember what I'm on track to do.
Yeah.
So something like this, you can get like at a craft store, and they have pretty pages and papers. That's pretty stuff. I wanted to show you this page right here. We just passed it. Some of them come with these cute little sayings and things.
That's awesome.
But to answer the question, scrapbooks, magazines, pamphlets, printouts from your but have some fun with it, and don't worry about whether you have the right perfect picture. And that was one of the things, the blocks that I had to get with my client yesterday. She was stuck thinking they had to be beautiful and perfect. And I was like, use metaphors. Grab something that kind of looks like the color or the funny picture of something that you're trying to get out, like light bulbs, for thinking and inventing. I use a light bulb once I'm an inventor. So modify and morph those.
So you need all those papers and those things, and you need a glue stick, and you need scissors, and you just need a board, right?
Yes.
And so then you tell us kind of like the process, and then you think about it, and then you place it where you can always see it. How does that work?
Okay, well, in my workshops, and we're not doing this isn't a workshop, but I want to give you kind of the guide. I always tell everybody before you start cutting, you can do it 2 ways. You can start cutting and just start cutting out things that you're attracted to, because most likely if you're attracted to it, it's something you like and you want. So you can either do that. You can start cutting things. But what I really recommend, if you have the patience and time, is actually think about your goals that you want first. Like, what do I want to happen in 1 year? What do I want to happen in 5 years? What would make me feel like I am whole in 10 years? What are the things that have to happen? Imagine 10 years from now, what would the gifts be that you would feel like I'm content in my life? And write those down and then evaluate your life now and think, well, what is missing, or why do I not have what I want? And then you can start to look at this board and say, okay, whatever I'm going to put on this board, these are the things I want to work at. There are goals that I want to work at. And then strategically start placing things like that. And then once you get your images down, then start looking at the words that it's saying to you. If you don't have the right words saying to you the things you want to hear, cut them out and put them out there. And I'll tell you one of the things. I cut down. I mean, we all wish that someone would tell us every morning, "You're so beautiful." We all wish we had a looking mirror like Cinderella, or I'm sorry, Snow White, where they're like, "Beautiful woman, you're so gorgeous." Well, I wrote the words down. "You're so beautiful," so I would look at it every day and go, "I am beautiful." I will tell myself the things I want to hear. Love yourself, and that's really what I want you to know is that word is for you. The other thing that's so important for you to know is sometimes we're embarrassed to tell our husbands or our girlfriends or our family or our kids what we really want. And this is a sacred space for you to put down what you really want. They might think it's silly. They might not know you can put it on the board and they may be walking by it every day, but they may not know the metaphor, what you're really looking at. Sometimes people have looked at my boards and they look at them, they go, "They're so beautiful." But then when I start describing what's on it, they're like, "Whoa, I didn't even see that." So look at it as like a sacred space.
Right, exactly. And it gives you a sense of purpose because every morning you get up, you look at it and you're like, I'm working towards this. But I think people need to know is like when you make the vision boards and you really look at them and you have your intention, sometimes it might not happen immediately. What do you tell people who are like, "Oh, this didn't work, I don't believe in them," or "This isn't"?
So cutting up little pieces of paper and sticking them to a board isn't going to make your visions happen like in 12 months. Visions and dreams and goals don't happen timely because they don't know time. We as humans put a timestamp on things. I got to have it done in 12 months. I need to lose weight in 2 months. I want my kids to move out, the house in 1 year when they turn 18, right when they turn 18, I want them out the door, or things like that. Or I want a new car next year, visions don't happen that way. What I want to say is there's a lot more science to it. And that's what we dive deep into my training. There's some brain science and there's some energy. I mean, it really is a law of physics and law of energy because if you wake up 12 months from now, and I've looked at my board and go, I didn't get that house I wanted. I didn't get the shiny car I wanted. This thing doesn't work. If I assess and tell myself, well, did I actually create intentions around it? I'm to blame for it, not the board, not the woo-woo behind the magic of the visual board. It's I have to assess and look at my calendar, and that's kind of what I teach in my workshop is how you take those visions and you work it into your day-to-day and make sure that you're it's almost like you're checking off things and you're making movement toward it. But I have woken up and said, this didn't work. This is no good. But then if I reevaluate myself, or if I look at the vision, like I put that I wanted to go, and I tell the story in my training. I wanted to go to Alaska to see the Royal Borealis sky. And I remember looking at it last year and going, I didn't do that. Oh, I'm a failure. I'm a vision board artist. And I invite people and I can't even make my own vision. But then I thought about it and I said, well, the pandemic hit, and due to the circumstances, I went to Hawaii instead. I did go on vacation. It wasn't what I saw on the board. So you can't look at the visions and go, it didn't happen exactly the way I cut it. That's not the exact house I wanted. That's not the exact car. You need to look at your vision boards as goal setting. They're not timestamps and things that have to get done.
Exactly. And adjust it. You know what I mean? Like you said, I wanted to go to Alaska, but I went to Hawaii. You still got your vacation. Maybe, that's what you were supposed to do at this time, and later you'll go to Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a story of a friend who did a vision board, and she had this Range Rover, and it was an orange color, and that's what she had on her vision board. And she was so excited that, I'm gonna, envision this orange Range Rover. And so then her vision board went into like storage for a while, and she was driving this, and then she got this Range Rover, right? And she was driving it and so excited about it, and then it just had so many problems, right? That she had to go to the dealership, get another one, and it just wasn't working. And so one day when she moved, she found that vision board, and she looked at it, and she was like, oh my gosh, I have the car that I want, but the car wasn't working. So then she went to the dealer and she said, I don't want this Range Rover anymore. It's just not working. And she was like, oh, the vision board doesn't work, or this or that. And he's like, well, we have this new model, and it's kind of like a red, and why don't you just borrow this and try this? So she drove it, and she went back and looked at her vision board, and the color was actually a red one rather than orange. In her head, she had thought it was orange, but the car was actually a red Range Rover.
I love that. That's
So
awesome.
actually, she was getting what she wanted, but it wasn't at the right time. So she's driving around her red Range Rover so happy, and that's what she had on her vision board.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So the thinking, what you think and what you visualize is going to happen,
Yeah,
but it might take time.
it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it's taken up to 5 years for things to materialize on my board, and even up to 10 years. And I've done several types of vision boards in the last 20 years, and it's taken a span of 20 years. But guess what? Everything I've ever put on my boards, all of them have come true. All of them, every single thing, except for one big one. But then if I go back and I audit myself, it's my own doing why it hasn't, and doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Maybe I need another 10 years.
Yeah, but like when you audit yourself, do you like do a vision board every year and reevaluate what didn't happen and what did, or do you do it every month, or how
I
does
do.
that work?
I do that, and that is again what I teach in the workshop. I do. I will take a look at what worked. I'll assess my last year and what worked, what didn't work, and then I'll the things that didn't work. I spend a lot of time on, like looking it back at, and then when I make my new board, either I'll pull things from the old board and bring them into the new board, and then set new goals and try to work on the ones that I didn't pick up and happen. But yeah, everything moves over to the next year.
Okay. If anybody has any questions on vision boarding for Spramani, or if you have one or don't have one, just post it in the comments below, because we'd love to know who's using one, who isn't, and if you have any questions about intentions or finding your purpose. And I'd also like to know, are any of you right now stuck in finding your purpose or intention? Because that is something that vision boards can help with. They can help with intentions, they can help with purpose, and help you know what you want in your life, because sometimes we're not really sure what we want. And with a vision board, you wake up every day and you're just like, this is what I'm working towards. It really becomes inspiring and a way of life, because I was talking to some moms and they're just like, I get up, I eat, I cook, I watch Netflix, I walk around, because you're not having the normal life right now where you're going out. And then when the kids get older, also, you're just like, what should I do? People don't know what to do with themselves now. They're stuck. And I feel like vision boards actually help you become unstuck.
They do. They really do, because they make you evaluate your everyday, actions. Like, what am I doing every day? What I need to do to make that happen? They make you put something ridiculous on your board, like I want to be skinny, and then you have to be honest with yourself and look in the mirror, like, well, that's what I put on my board, but what did I actually put into my life to make that happen? So that a vision board is so amazing. I don't even know how people don't have vision boards or plans. Or I now live by, but and again, vision boards are not woo woo. They're not like the secret story. There's like that secret where it's something that's mystical. It's just planning. Vision boards are planning. If you really look, it's a beautiful way to plan and to set things in motion.
Right. And it can be for any age, because you told me the story of your kids also.
Oh yeah, my kids, my son and my daughter started making their vision boards at age 14, and my son has this remarkable story where everything came true on his list, and in fact, I had everything out for the vision board I was doing on virtually, and my son and his girlfriend saw what I was doing it, and my girlfriends were doing it, and they all went outside and made their own vision board. So
Oh, that's fun.
I always have everything out. I have the scissors, the magazines. Everyone should make a vision board. Yeah, even men.
Yeah, exactly.
My
I try to get my husband to do it. He just, he just doesn't have the brain power for it. I don't know, or he's not creative or anything. So I just do my own. I tried to do a couples one. We started fighting. So I said, we did. I'm like, this is not my vision. He's like, this is my vision. I'm like, a couples board, so we have the same vision together. And I think we've been married so long that our visions are kind of like this,
I can give you guys some advice on that. So I was talking to one of my clients, and she wants to buy a house. And I said, okay, it's not that you two need to sit down and do a vision board, but what needs to happen is the conversations about the house. So you put it on the board. He may think that's ridiculous. I'm not going to cut a piece of house out, put it on glue it down, and that's how I'm going to get my house. But I said, but what you can do is you do that, and then you set the intention that in the next few months, you and him have to get together and get clear on what kind of house you want. I told her, make a list of what the do's and the don'ts that you don't want in the house. Where do you want to live? What does he want in the house? What do you want in the house? What do the kids need in the house? Whose money, do we have to pull together to get it? Have those conversations, and then schedule it, in the next 6 months, very gently, and then schedule getting a real estate agent, and then schedule taking him on those things. And then when you guys are in the house 2 years from now, you can go back and say it was on the board.
I agree, because literally he was just like, you want me to cut out words? What am I supposed to cut out? And he was just like, I'm not doing this. Whatever you're drawing or whatever you're pasting, you want that to be the way that we're getting whatever we want. That should be our vision. And I was like, you don't believe me. You don't trust me. And he's like, no, I just am not cutting things out. And it just went down the hill, and I ripped up the poster board, and I was like, well, I'm not doing one with you. I'm doing one with me. And he's just looking at me like, what did I say wrong?
Isn't that I make the most gorgeous, beautiful boards, and my sweetheart has never done one, but he certainly believes in them because he knows, he knows the power of them. But could I get him to cut and glue? Probably not.
I know. So I was just like, okay, but I like this way of asking him and what he says, putting on the vision board. I love that. So why don't you tell everybody about the retreat that is coming up, or is there anything else you'd like to discuss or tell people about vision boards?
Anyone else have questions about vision boards before we jump off that topic and go into our next topic? I'm here.
Yeah.
If not, I'll. So Uzma and I got really excited because I do these every year and I can't do them live. And so she and I said, why don't we collaborate together and do them virtually, and we can turn it. Then, Uzma's like me, very creative, and starts just creating all these magical moments. So we decided to do over 3 days.
Yeah.
Really, a 3-day retreat at the end of March where Uzma can bring in her amazing yoga skills. We're going to do some restorative
yoga. We're going to do that on Friday night, introduce and just do some nice quiet time to calm your body down, relax you so that you can be creative for the next day when Spramani opens her doors to the vision board.
And then on a Saturday, we'll get up in the morning. I'm on Pacific Standard Time here in California, so I can't recall what I don't have.
We start our 9, your 7.
Okay, so we're going to start my 7, your 9. And what we're going to do is we're going to start getting the work ready to go to the vision board. And I actually have exercises where we have to do a lot of reframing. We have to brain dump. We have to visit some old habits. We actually do written exercises, and we'll do that for like an hour. And what it does is it gives my clients and my vision board guests clarity on what to go cut. And then we also do this thing called a lifestyle audit. And the lifestyle audit really makes you take a look at what's imbalanced in your life. And that takes like about 30 minutes to do. And then we'll start cutting and then send you off. And then I think we're going to close that out with another restorative yoga lesson, right?
Yeah, we're going to do like a little kind of restorative meditation closing ceremony, but we're also on Sunday. We're going to come on. You're going to be able to finish your scrapbook, since Ramani will have you show your scrapbook if you feel like it.
And
And we'll talk
share.
about we'll share, talk about intentions and stuff. And then I'll do a closing meditation to close everything up. So your manifestations and your intentions are let out in the universe, so
Yeah.
all your dreams and your intentions come true and you find your purpose.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, "Well, why would I invest in that? I can go get a board." And I hope you do that.
Yeah.
Go board and do a vision board. But if you are the woman who is ready to make a big change and make a shift and really get that intention and clarity, and that's a big word I use in the training, is if you want real clarity and you have a lot of things you want to do, this is for that person who really wants to kick off and change things and get in good habits. That wants to spend 3 days. The retreat is basically you in your own house, in your own space, in a room. Like my client did it yesterday. She kicked her whole family out of the garage and she put her laptop on the floor and she was on the ground with her magazine and said, I will be gone for 4 hours. I'm going to be on Zoom with Ramani and I'm doing my vision board. And she did it. So that's the kind of what you need to leave the space open to do the work, because we're going to do work. We're not just going to cut pretty pictures and glue it down. We're going to actually do a lot of manifestation. And I'll explain to you how this magic unfolds, and that science I was talking about and that energy, I'll explain that in depth and give you all the tools you need.
I also think that having all the women do it together also brings in more energy, more intention, and you get inspired more. So your vision boards will even just be even more magnifying and amazing. And if you're first time vision boarder also, this is a great way to start and learn, rather than doing it on your own and wondering, where should I get this stuff from? What should I write? You'll get inspiration from other women. But I also think that if you have done a vision board, it's really great to come back into this retreat and get more ideas, so you can even, do bigger and better things with your life.
Or you can look at that old board and we can really help you strategically make it happen. Like really show you how it's done. If you created one and you were kind of like, I did this, but I don't understand how it works, you'll be able to bring that vision board in, and you'll be able to then look at it and go, okay, maybe I don't have the right things on here, or maybe I now understand how I'm supposed to go from this day forward with this vision board.
Yeah. So I think, with the vision board, with the meditation, with the yoga, it's just going to be a whole weekend of inspiration and intention and purpose for whoever joins it. I mean, we have really created it for all of you out there to just inspire you and, find more meaning and purpose in your life, because that's what we've been seeing, that since the pandemic and everybody at home, everybody's losing their joy and that spark inside. And this is a way to get unstuck.
Yeah, and if you have a girlfriend you want to ask to do it with you, that kind of makes it fun too, and makes me feel like, okay, I can bring someone familiar with. But these men are a lot of fun. You want to hang out.
We are a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to put the link on later tonight under this. But if you are interested, you can DM me or Spramani, either one of us, and we will definitely make sure that you're on the list, because it's a weekend you don't want to miss, because we're only doing this once a year.
Once a year, yeah.
It's a once a year thing. And it's just going to...
times a year, but it's different. I've never done restorative yoga, and I'm so excited because I love restorative yoga. I miss my gym that was giving that out, so I'm so excited for you to take us through these exercises. And I'm probably going to kick my family out and and the candles and music and everything. So I'm so looking forward to that. I really like.
Exactly. Like I have this whole yoga room now. I took everything out from the office and it's like this whole nice yoga room, and I just close the door and everybody knows not to come in, and I just light my candles. I create my space. I get a warm cup of tea, and I just really, really focus on myself, because I think that is so important. And with restorative yoga, you just go deeper and deeper inside yourself, and all that talking that you do with yourself, it just slowly disappears and your body becomes calm. And then all that creativeness and all that longing to become more inspired comes out. So the night before the vision boards, really calming your body down and opening it up to creativity and intentions is just going to be amazing.
Before, I didn't actually know what restorative yoga was, and maybe you can tell the audience too what that exactly is, because I read about it after I took it and I really understand it, but I'd like you to tell them just kind of the difference between that and regular yoga.
Well, in regular yoga, you move your body around a lot, right? So in restorative yoga, you are just laying there for 5 to 7 minutes. I mean, I've even done 15 minutes, but for beginners, I do 5 to 7 minutes. And you lay in different poses, and it helps relieve anxiety. It helps relieve your chaos. It helps relieve stress because we're not used to just being still. And for being still for like 60 minutes, just laying there in different positions that open up your body and let all the toxins come out, you just are just like in la la land, and then you just feel so good and so refreshed to start anything that you need to. It's just really comforting as well, because your mind starts moving when you're laying there, and you're like, why am I laying here? And you start thinking about, dinner or the groceries or your friends or your partner or whatever, and then slowly with each pose, all those thoughts start going away, and then you're just relaxed.
You know what? When I was taking it at the gym, everyone was falling asleep and snoring in the class. Like they were going into deep breaths where it was like, I was like, they are out.
Yes.
They are asleep.
Exactly. And you get so mad at the instructor because they're like, okay, now change your position. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And 5 to 7 minutes goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really, really nice because we all need that as women, a time to just pause and relax and focus on ourselves, because that actually has more benefits than doing the regular yoga. When you reset and you relax, it gives you more benefits.
I'll tell you why I actually started doing that is I have high blood pressure, and that actually was helping me because I was racing up here in my mind. And like you said, when I first started my classes, I was thinking about all the things I had to do, and it was so hard for me to clear my mind and clear my mind. After the third time of doing these classes, I realized this is my space.
Yes.
In it. And I started to get really into it. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
I need to get more with you.
I know. And anytime, you know that. So thanks everybody for joining. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me or Spramani. The retreat date is March 26th to March 28th, and we'll start on Friday evening. And we are so excited to have you all join with us, and just so excited. This is going to be such a great weekend.
Thanks for inviting me on here in your platform. Usually I'm in my platform.
Yeah, no, this is great. And you gave good information. And if they want to seek more information and really get into the vision boards, they can just, contact us. And, the retreat's just going to be we've really talked about it, thought about it, had meetings about it, and we created it for everybody out there to really find their purpose and meaning right now. Because 2021, I'm telling everybody on my platform, it's the yes year. Yes. It is a year where we're just going to say yes to ourselves as women, as moms, as humans, and just move forward. So thank you so much for coming on. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Thanks.
Oh, wait, somebody said, I really enjoyed the talk today. Thank you. If you want to post your name, that would be great. Because it just says Facebook user. That way we can say, hey, Okay. And if anybody has any questions right before we get off, anybody? Okay. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed the talk. Hopefully we'll see you at the retreat at the end of the month. And we'll post a link later on this evening. But you can also DM me and let me know that you want to join, right? Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.